I remember Sean specifically telling you after a match, Duke, you can do no wrong. Do you remember this? I remember it vividly.
I remember it differently.
The news came out that like they want people debuting on Raw SmackDown at 25.
Bodie coming in, he is ready to turn heel. And I go, nope. Dealing with Thea was an experience in its own right.
Yeah. Man, Chase U just keeps succeeding and succeeding, but like we don't really want them to succeed. Like we don't want them in that spot.
They've got people that they're booking as a 9, but can only deliver a 4.
I didn't really take that too well. I didn't really take your firing too well.
Before we get to Chase U, there is something I wanted to talk about because I think it's something that a lot of people enjoy from your introduction to TV.
Okay.
I know that you were in the breakout tournament with me,
Yep.
but then the next part I remember they went to 2.0 and you were in the wedding.
Yes.
And you'd started is everybody...
Did somebody say?
Did somebody say Andre Chase? And people remember that.
Yeah, it gets clipped all the time. Like,
Yeah. So what was your... From getting into the PC to getting to that point, to 2.0?
To quickly kind of recap, so I signed. I signed in like January. We reported in February. Again, there's no live. And again, so I was told on the phone when I was like, I'm going to be a wrestler. I'm not going to take the coaching role. If he said it once on this phone call, he said it 100 times. He said, I just need you to know you're not going to be a TV star. You're not going to be on TV at all, actually. You're just here to train and work with this next group of guys who they had already chosen. Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, Tony D'Angelo, the Creeds. Like that core class, Mella. Like the class that I started with, he made it very clear, like if you choose to be a wrestler, because like I think the idea was if I was going to be a coach, I was going to coach the young guys. Like that was going to be my class.
You're either teaching them or getting squashed by them.
So I enjoy those kind of challenges. I do. So again, from the more he told me on this phone call I wasn't going to be on TV, I was just like, okay, like, let me in the building. Like I just knew I needed to get in. So they were like, you're only here for them. You're only here so they can learn from you, so you can teach them. Like you're not going to be on TV. And again, if he said on this phone call once, he said it 100 times. Like he was trying so hard to get me to take the coaching job. Mm-hmm. And I just like, nope, I'm going to take the wrestling. You're going to take less money? Yes, I said that. Okay. But you know you're not going to be on, like I'm telling you, every time. Then I report to the PC. And I'm told by the coaches, make sure you understand you're not going to be on TV. Yes, I got it. I understand. I'm just supposed to work the PC Lives I get it. Okay, fine. Sure enough, this one day, I'm working at PC Live with Julius Creed. Sean happens to wander over. Like it's this afternoon in the warehouse.
Yeah, and I think at that point it was still very much like, oh, there's Sean.
Yeah.
He wasn't
around like that. Yeah. And he didn't come to every PC Live.
No.
So it was Julius Creed's 3rd or 4th match. Like it wasn't, he hadn't had a lot of matches and he hadn't had he was obviously going to be a tag team with his brother, but he was just having a few singles matches here and there. We had a really good match. And luckily, Sean was there to see it. So we, afterwards we go to feedback and go to the coaches. And Sean's like, why aren't you on TV? And I go, oh, I don't know. I was told I wasn't going to be on TV. And he was like, well, why not? And I was like, I don't know. They just told me that I wasn't going to be on TV. He goes, we got to get you on TV. And the next week I was on 205 Live. So it was just, it only takes that one, literally like your life can change in one match.
Love bringing up Terry. Terry always said every day's an audition.
Every day's an audition. And like, I just approached every match, even at PC Live, even whatever, it was like, this is an audition. I can change somebody's mind today, or I can give them a reason to, if they did like me, maybe give them a reason not to, but I always tried not to do that, obviously. And that one match, and yeah, Sean was like, why aren't you on TV? Because like, there's such a disconnect between like Sean and Hunter and like the coaches and then like talent relations. Like they almost all operate.
They operate out of the same building,
yeah.
But they are separate things.
Yeah.
The PC, Bloom's in control of the PC, Sean's in control of the TV, and then there's a crossover when they communicate.
Yeah.
And in any business that has that many employees or sections, like not everyone is communicating with, and the more you get into TV and you realize like, oh, they are not communicating with them. They are not talking to them. Like there is a lot of misunderstanding and miscommunication.
The synergy. Like all in the same building, you have like Sean and Hunter, you had the coaches, you had TR somewhere over here, and then you had creative, somebody, but like they did not operate in the same whatever. And then another thing I remember, Sean asking me again later on, like, why aren't you on TV? And I didn't mean it to, like, I think I started something that I didn't really mean to. I was like, oh, well, creative doesn't come to PC Lives.
I remember this.
Yeah. So I said, creative, well, they probably haven't written for me because they haven't seen me wrestle or do promos or like whatever PC Live's supposed to be for, they haven't been here for it. And then my first introduction on TV was kind of like creative being a little upset with me that now they had to come watch PC Lives.
I'm glad you did that to creative, though.
But, you know, some way to kind of, hey.
Better for the show.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Andre Chase. I'm the guy who accidentally buried you to the boss. Sorry about that. Will you write for me now?
I'm sure you weren't the first, and you wouldn't have been the last.
Well, after that, creative was at every PC Live. I'll tell you that much.
Good.
And it was good for the boys, good for the girls.
It'd be good for the show.
Yeah.
2.0?
2.0? Well, it's 205 Live still at this point. And I don't know if you were on these shows or like doing 205 Live at this time.
I did one.
Okay, it was awesome because they didn't care about it anymore. We were getting to go like 15 or 20 minutes every. So I was like really getting to show like, you know, the NXT matches were 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I was getting to go in front of the same crowd and wrestle 15 to 20 minutes. Like I remember me and Grayson Waller, we had 14 minutes. We get out there, we're about to go to the break spot. They say you got 10 minutes left. We've been wrestling for like 6 or 7 minutes. And they just like kept at, like, it was great. They were like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
No problem. So like I got to show a side of like my wrestling ability where I could carry a match for 12, 15, 20 minutes sometimes. And that helped me a lot as well. Okay, he's got this, so we can carry on with what we were doing.
Yeah.
2.0 comes around. I'm not sure how much you want to touch on that. I think it was a crazy time, especially for somebody who was older. Do you want to touch on any of that?
I mean, my experience was I came in as the poker player.
Right.
And
well, I meant kind of before that, like where a lot of people got fired, and then there was that. The news came out that like they want people debuting on Raw, SmackDown at 25 or 26. Do you remember all of this like new initiative? And again, for somebody who was 31, going to be 32 soon, I was like, oh no.
I don't remember like from post-COVID to 2.0.
You don't remember that? Because it was a crazy time. Like it was a crazy time as far as like.
It's just when the firing started happening every.
Well, also Hunter's gone.
Yeah.
So it was like it was a weird like. Sean was taking more responsibility. Hunter was out, obviously.
Oh, well, the only thing I remember from that would be, and I think we've spoken about this in the past, was it was still black and gold.
Yes.
With the COVID arena. Right. And I think I remember wrestling Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes.
And I had gotten an email the night before that said like it's going to be you. I think it was me, Kyle O'Reilly. Was it Samoa Joe? Or it was Ciampa. LA Knight, like it was all the top guys at the time.
And you were going to be...
And me in like a promo segment. And I'm like, yeah, give me a mic and I'm good.
Right.
Here's my moment. I get to be in the ring with all these guys
right.
and establish myself. And then I get to TV the next day and it's everyone but me in that segment. And I go, oh, did I do something wrong? Who told you about the segment? You need to tell me because I need to know who I can trust.
Right.
In my head, I'm just kind of like, oh, like there goes my opportunity. That's all I remember from that time. And I looked at that match with Kyle as not a tryout, but like a test.
Right.
I feel like they were testing me a lot because they weren't sure about me.
Right.
Which Sean has said as well. Like, so it's, you know.
I remember Sean specifically telling you after a match, Duke, you can do no wrong. Do you remember this? I remember it vividly.
I remember it differently. I remember him going like, they've tried to fire you many times, and I keep holding you in there. I remember that part.
So, well, it was just, that was a real like transitional period as far as like everything. Again, because in that time from like, I don't remember the timeline exactly, but 2.0 started in like September of 2021, I think.
Roughly.
Yeah, so like April or May, from April or May to 2.0 starting, that was just like a pretty transitional time because I remember all those people got fired, and then it was like that report came out. Oh, we want people in developmental in their early 20s so they can debut on Raw and SmackDown at 25, 26. And again, as a 32-year-old, I'm like, I don't really know where I fit in right now.
Yeah.
In my mind, like, but I know that Hunter, and as we know now, like Hunter saw me as one thing. Like he appreciated my work, but he never saw me. Sean saw something more in me. So I think I benefited from Sean coming and kind of being the guy.
Me too.
Like, because I think Sean saw something in us. Like I can't explain what it was, but Sean believed, even with everything that's happened, I think Sean believed in us and in me and the act.
Maybe he just had a different way of approaching not just the talent that they're pushing,
Right.
but like, well, how do we get the most out of those people?
Right.
Well, we've got to build these people up to put them over, like, as opposed to maybe just like, well, these are the guys and everyone else is just feeding.
That seemed like more of a divide for sure. It definitely seemed like more of a divide before than that.
Yeah.
So the communication comes down. Everybody needs a character. We're 2.0 now. We're colorful. Do you know where we're at now? And
Yeah. I remember doing. Was it Bruce and Laurinaitis that came down
Correct.
to watch the coconut the PC lives?
Yeah.
Because I remember wrestling. I was in a tag match with Grayson against Odyssey and Kona Reeves.
Yep.
It was great.
Yep.
But the feedback was more colors.
Yep.
Ha.
We need this colorful. We need this young. We need this younger.
Yeah.
So again,
okay, I know where we're at.
as a 31, 32, I'm like, well, I can do all these things, but I can't get any younger for you. So Road Dogg, still being in creative at that time.
Yep.
He would lead promo class at that time. Not sure if you remember that or if
Yep.
you were in that class. So the directive was, I don't care what it is. Everybody in this promo class has to come up with a character. That was the directive for our class. Again, I don't remember if we were in the same class or not, but in our
I don't remember having a class. I just remember Road Dogg going like, what do you got? And I showed him all the poker stuff and he went, great, let's do that. I
okay,
went, cool.
So everybody had to be very well defined.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I was like, what can I be? I was like, well, they wanted me as a coach. I enjoy teaching people anyway. How can I make this more of a wrestling character? That was the first time in promo class I did this Andre Chase University thing. But it was as a bad guy character.
Yeah. It
So-
started off as a heel. Yeah.
The first one that I did, it was I thought it was very good, and I would still like to use it one day, so I hope nobody steals this, was that I was giving unasked for advice, right? There's nothing more annoying than like somebody giving you advice that one, you don't respect, or two, you didn't ask for their advice. So during promo class, I walked to the ring. I was like, hey, I'm leaving this feedback box in the middle of the ring because I know all you guys want to ask me so many questions, but I don't really change in the same locker room as you guys. So just leave your questions in the box and I'll come back and get to them and answer them when I can. So that was the first part. And I was like, next week I'll do the second part. So the next week I'm opening the feedback box, right? Like expecting these like great questions. And like, one of them was like, F off. One of them was like, everything dogging me. And then that's when I lost it. I was like, that's when I became like what Sean saw of like the Andre Chase character. I fucking kicked the box over and I slid. And I was like, these kids don't want to show me respect, blah, 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 whatever. I just lost it. And Road Dogg is dying laughing. And he showed that promo to Sean. And Sean was like, Sean's a big college basketball fan. So what became of the red sweater, there was a very outspoken college basketball coach named Bobby Knight. I'm sure you don't know anything about this.
I love Bobby Knight.
He loves Bobby Knight. So he was crazy. He would throw chairs across, like if a call didn't go his way, he would throw chairs. He choked one of his kids one time. Like he was just crazy, right?
Okay, yeah.
Sean knew I was a college basketball fan. Sean was a college basketball fan. When he saw me flip out like that, he said it reminded him of Bobby Knight. So he was like, he can be a coach and he can be like Bobby Knight, but we got to put him in the red sweater. So I was like, great. Road Dogg loved it. Sean loved it. We're off to the races. Gabe calls me the night before I'm supposed to debut in whatever. I just have my trunk. I'm a trunks and boots wrestler.
I remember.
Always have
Yeah,
been.
I remember the breakout tournament.
Yeah, I'm a trunks and boots guy. Gabe goes, hey, Sean loved it. We're going to run with it. We need you to get do you have a red sweater? And this is the first I'd heard about this. And I was like, well, no, but they were like, okay, don't worry. We'll get props to make it or whatever. And I was like, okay, so yeah, I just wear that during promos and I wear the trunks and boots. He's like, no. We need you to wrestle. Sean wants you to wrestle in the sweater and a button-up shirt. And I was like, I've never wrestled in a top before in my life, especially not 2 layers with a wool sweater.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's what Sean wants, take it or leave it. And I was like, I'll see you on Tuesday.
And my God, was it good.
It was brutal though, man. Like, you wrestled in the sweater one time, and you even cut the sleeves off of it.
I started with the sweater, cut the sleeves off just to look different.
Right.
And just without them knowing, I was like, this is so hot and heavy.
Yeah.
I just took it off. I started wearing the Chase U shirt with the cut off sleeves, and I was like, oh, no one noticed. This is like, I feel so much better. The amount of times that we would wrestle and you'd come back through the curtain just exhausted,
Yeah.
like heat stroke
Yeah.
from wearing a shirt, the sweater, and carrying my through a match. I was like, I respect this man so much.
My conditioning had never been better. Like at that point, and if you remember, during class, like during training, I started wearing full hoodie, full sweats, trying to simulate the weight because it was so heavy.
Yeah, my photo of you on my phone for the contact is you as a Jigsaw from Saw. Because you would always walk around the PC with like the hoodie on.
Yeah, and people thought that I was just like being like, not trying to be social, but no, I was just trying to simulate the weight and the temperature of how I was, practice like you play.
And they can't understand that unless they've done it.
Right.
Yeah. I saw it firsthand. I experienced 2% of it.
Yeah.
But like I experienced you going through it and I was like, oh my God, like you deserve your flowers for that alone.
One of my greatest accomplishments is being able to do that and like also have the matches and wrestle the pace that Sean wanted.
Yes.
I challenge anybody to do that. Just one match, just wear a sweater and a button-up shirt and long pants, and just you feel 20 pounds heavier.
Well, I remember we wrestled Pretty Deadly early on.
Yeah.
They were on a downswing, and so like they were all miserable, but they were still in like street clothes, and we still couldn't beat them. but I just remember them saying, it's that little bit different. Just, yeah. When you put outside your comfort zone, especially on TV, in that style of match,
it's brutal. But I'm happy that I did it. Like I took it as a challenge. I just took it like I'm good. Whatever y'all give me, I think y'all are saying this because I can't do it, and I'm gonna show you that I can.
You've always had a very good mindset with that stuff.
I try to, but what's the opposite, right?
Glass half empty.
You know what I mean? Like it's just not worth it. I've always been an maybe overly optimistic person, but things just tend to work out for me. So I have no reason to believe the opposite.
No, I respect it. So, Chase U starts.
Yep.
Is Bodie in there immediately? No, just you.
Yeah. So my first few was with Odyssey, kind of playing off the breakout tournament. And then like I do my first classroom segment. And I remember I was like, okay, like this is good. Like I might not be world champion, but like I'm gonna be here for a while.
You got something.
The first one. Because I watched, as I was doing it and filming it, I watched like JB and I watched everybody who was there, even like the extras who were the students.
Yeah.
I just watched them like dying, like trying not to laugh. And like it was like, okay.
They knew you had something.
This is gonna connect, yeah. This is definitely gonna. So like I wasn't a bad guy long. So like I did the feud with Odyssey, that was my first thing. And then by that time I already had started to kind of.
The crowd always likes a good heel.
Yeah. And it didn't last long. And then when Bodie joined, because Bodie's just crazy, right? So
what are your thoughts on Bodie?
love him.
Yeah.
Like, man, he gave everything he had to chase you.
Yep.
So like, I needed somebody at that point who believed in it as much as I did, or it wasn't gonna work.
Yep.
And I told him that. He was like, I got you. So like, he rode till the end. Like anybody who would listen, he would tell me, Andre Chase is great. Mr. Chase is great. Like, and I needed somebody to believe in it as much as I did if it was going to get there. And that's why, like, when Thea came along, she did. She bought in immediately. She got it. And, like, that's why it worked so well.
What a good example of what Chase U could be, because you've got you, the leader, with experience as a professional wrestler, even though you are 75 years old in their eyes. But the opportunity to bring in these young up-and-comers that can learn under your wing and get them on TV. And then in my head, I go, this can just go on forever. Yeah. And again, I was such a fan of it myself because, as I'm sure you remember, when we would play poker with friends in the locker room, I would wear a Chase U shirt just hanging out. I would wear a Chase U shirt to my own rehearsals because I was like, this is so good. And whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not looking at just being the top serious heavyweight main event heavyweight champion. I'm looking at like wrestling is a variety show.
Definitely.
And there is room or should be room for everything.
Yep.
And Chase U was like, when I grew up, it was too cool.
Right.
It was Scotty Too Hotty. It was The Worm. And I was like, this is just as good as anything else. Yep. And this was something that I saw that's my, like, I love pro wrestling and
oh, yeah.
bits and pieces of it, both serious and entertainment. And Chase U was that. And you did your job so well that you just made it so easy for me to come in and like fill the spot.
Right.
I don't want to jump ahead, but yeah, Bodie coming in, he is, because I remember me and Grayson, I think it was me, Grayson, and Tiff worked you, Bodie, and Thea early on when they just started doing coconuts again.
Yeah.
You know, Grayson and Tiff are on their way up. I'm just there. And I felt that because someone wrote a promo for Grayson to say, like, you know, shitting on me. But I just remember working with you and Bodie in that match. Bodie is someone who, he's got something, he's special, but the thing that makes him special is so very easily his downside as well.
Yeah.
And I think I would say the same. I would relate Bodie to BJ Ray.
Right.
Both.
So funny. We'll get to that, yeah.
Okay. They've got something.
Yeah.
And it's making them stand out. It's also the reason that they just...
So that's the old saying, the same thing will get you hired or get you fired.
I wish I knew that saying. I would have said that 2 minutes ago.
It just depends on the day, right? Like, it just depends on what they're looking for, if they like it that day, if they don't like it that day. And I agree. I think, especially in the crazy world of professional wrestling, anything to get people talking is usually a good thing. Mm-hmm. But then, some days you get people talking too much about the wrong thing, and it's like, we got to get rid of them. Yeah.
The character of Bodie on TV...
was him.
Phenomenal.
But it was him.
It was, because then when we're in the locker room and he goes, oh, no worries, dog, and just like headbutts a locker, and you go, what? Are you okay? It's the same... there was no on-off switch.
No.
That was just him.
It was him.
Yeah.
And, like, they liked him. I know they liked him. It just, you know, it got to the point where they were like, we got to go one way or the other with it. And I think they chose this way. But, like, he easily, in a different timeline, he's wrestling Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship. Like, it's just, they liked him. They wanted him. It just didn't work out that way.
And even though I love Bodie, and not that I wanted to see him fail or anything, but just him... and what happened with him allowed me to get what I got. Yeah. So I'm not thanking him for screwing up. Yeah. But like, there was an opportunity, there was a role to be filled, and however that came to be, it came to be, and I'm very grateful for it. What was your... Okay, Bodie's gone and Duke's in. Like, what was the conversation there? So was there one? There wasn't really one. There wasn't, like, we did that one classroom segment where, like, Bodie wasn't going to be in it, but you were going to be in it. Yeah. And he knew. Yeah, you know, sometimes, like, the writing's on the wall. And, like, even in that real time, I didn't even think, like, oh, that means that, like, they're getting rid of, but I didn't think that at all. No, it could have very easily been take him out of the spot, but keep him around. Yeah, like, definitely. Or repackage him. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen them, they've done that with people. Yeah. They just put him aside for 6 months. And then they bring him right back, and there are people on main roster now that are in that spot. Yep. He could have been in that spot, and easily. He just, unfortunately, you know. Yeah, and they could have just been like, "Oh, we want to see what he's got as a like on his own." Easily could have done that, but so I didn't have any inkling that like. I always thought they liked him. I always thought they had something for him. You know, they did like him until they didn't. Yeah. And again, same thing: get you hired or get you fired. Yeah. Okay. So I'm in. So you're in the classroom segment. So I knew, but like, how many times did they tell us, like, this isn't permanent, this isn't permanent? Like, every week we were at odds with each other. From the moment you came in, it was like, I was skeptical of you. Yeah. But in real life, I'm like, okay, Bodie gets fired, you're in. I go, okay, this is actually from an in-ring perspective. We have elevator of stock. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure how, so you talked about the match with Pretty Deadly. There was a match we had with Pretty Deadly for the tag team titles. It was our first tag match ever. Do you remember this? Is that the one where we go for the finish, he's in the middle, I boot you? Yes. That was great. That was our first match ever as a team. That was the one that Sean was like, when Simple's done right. Yeah. And like, he talked about that match for the next 6 months. But like, we just like had a great match. And it was our first ever match as a team. It should not have gone as well as it did. But it was 4 very good people in the ring. Of course. Like, so to me, from November 2022, that match for the tag team titles, to November 2024, where the match with Ridge happened on TV, that is my best run, which I imagine was Chase, in turn, Chase U's best run. Yeah. So like, that was the start. So like, we had done a few vignettes, we'd done a few classroom segments, and then we had that match. And then I felt like that match, for whatever reason, like Sean just like, okay, we can run with them now. My understanding was that every few weeks they'd go, all right, well, let's get a little bit more out of this. Yeah. Like, let's push this a little bit further and further and further. And then I think you told me that it was meant to be us at Stand and Deliver.
Yes.
2023.
Correct.
Which ended up being the match with Gacy,
Correct.
GYV.
So from what I was told, the original plan was, so that was only going to be, you joined in November. So like it was only going to be from November to April.
Well, I think, it was meant to be November to November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like they just kept, because that match, they were like, oh, there's something here. Let's, and then like around December, January, they were like, okay, it's going to be you and Duke control for the school.
Okay.
Like you were going to do whatever. You were going to get me out.
Well, because the Christmas vignette, I think, was me going like, Duke has a good sound to it, or was that later?
I think that was later. I think that was after I went away I was after the Braun match.
Oh, then forget that I said anything.
But no, it's, so like it was, because then we had Vengeance Day, the 4-way for the titles.
In your hometown?
Well, my home state.
Home state,
Yeah.
close enough.
Yeah. But like then that went well. And then I think they were like we got such a good reaction then. I think that was like, well, we can't really like break this up now. Like we've gone kind of too far now, and they're like, so we can always tease the tension there. But
Do you want to talk about Vengeance Day?
sure. What is there something specific?
What changed?
I feel like you're trying to lead me, but I'm not.
Oh, okay.
What changed?
Number one, we was like, I remember the match. I think it was you and I versus GYV versus Malik and Idris that got us into that.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed that match.
Yeah.
Working GYV was always so easy.
Yeah.
And I also enjoyed working Malik and Idris.
Same. I did too.
The difference being that, of course, GYV are vets.
Yeah.
And if I had a bad idea, they could fix that idea.
Right.
Whereas Malik and Idris are very capable, but I think they still needed to be led.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can do everything, but you got to tell them what to do.
Right.
And in that match, that is a very good example of like they listened and probably didn't get in as much stuff as they wanted.
Right.
But granted, that is they listened. That match was very good, very fun, very easy.
Yeah.
And that got us into Vengeance Day, where
That was our first main event as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my understanding was that we were meant to be winning the titles at Vengeance Day.
So that was, I can only tell you what I heard and what I was there for.
I could be wrong, but
I was told there was a pitch made that we were going to win the titles.
Yeah.
And Karina was our producer for that match. And I was in the locker room when New Day came in. Now, obviously, they're main roster, they're traveling, so they're there a little bit later than we were. So I remember Steve going like, oh, you guys are good to drop the titles tonight, whatever. And then they were like, oh yeah, we don't mind dropping them to Chase and Duke at all. And then they were like, oh no, it's actually Gallus. And I was just in the locker room like, this was news to me at this point. And I wish that I wouldn't have heard it, to be honest, because it was like, you know what I mean?
That would have been such a fun moment.
Yeah.
And
because there was a few things, and like, I think Gallus was the plan all along until we had that match. So we had that match, and it was really good.
Yeah.
And the crowd was really behind. Like it was building, right?
we had something special.
Yeah. And then if you remember at the end of the match, New Day comes on the Tron
Yep.
and like cuts the promo on us. And again, I don't think that was the plan, but I think there was like that week it was like, oh, it's Chase's hometown. Like, we're building this. Like maybe this could be a thing. So it was at least talked about, and I think that New Day were under the impression like, oh yeah, like we did this promo on them, so obviously we're going to drop
Sure,
it.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And we know that Gallus were. Everyone thought, at least in NXT, right? We knew that Gallus were coming in.
Yep.
And same as what had happened with a lot of the NXT UK guys. They're coming in, they're getting a little bit comfortable, and then they're off to the races.
Yeah.
And they were meant to.
Yep.
And it didn't. But like that makes sense, right? Like they come in, they win the tag belts, and then they're off to the races because now they look more established and successful and blah, blah, blah.
Of course. So I think there was at least from that week, there was at least like
We gave him
some kind of pitch to like, oh, well, maybe we could, and easily, and like, that's the thing. Sometimes I think in pro wrestling, decision makers, bookers, whatever, get so caught up in, no, but this was the plan. Like, it's okay to deviate. Like, you tell us, listen to the people.
Yeah.
You tell us to follow that, but then you don't listen to the people and you just stick with what the idea was. But if we did that in a match, you would go, why didn't you listen to the people? And we go, why didn't you listen to the people?
Yeah. I think their belief was once they give us the belts, what else can we do? Or at least that was the explanation given from memory.
Yeah.
As if we couldn't have the belt again or whatever. But, and probably just, again, because we're now 3 months in and they're probably still looking at it as a short-term thing.
Right.
This is going to end eventually. So once we give them the belts, once they lose the belts, it's over, and we got to drop it, and we got to go the separate way.
Yeah, and I kind of get that. Like I do from a
Yeah.
I do kind of get that.
If that was the thought process, I completely understand it. I can't remember the conversation I had because it couldn't have been this early on, but I remember a conversation with someone in the office where they were like, ready to turn heel? And I go, nope. I'm like, why would you end this?
Right.
It's going so well.
Yeah.
Again, go with the flow. If this is working, let's go with it. I'm glad they did, because they could have very easily just said like, no, we're ending it and we're moving on.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they did go with it in that sense. But just how could you not?
Right.
When we were delivering constantly. This is something that I say to people. I don't think I've said this in any of the sit down chats, but like, this is my experience. You could have a different experience or a different opinion. We were perceived as a 4 out of 10 on the booking scale.
Right.
We would execute and deliver at an 8, at a 9, depending on who we're in the ring with.
Right.
But we're delivering quality content. And I go, we're giving you a 9. Could you think about booking us as a 9? And they go, oh, well, we only need you as a 4. So we appreciate the 9.
Right.
But we only need you as a 4. So thanks for the effort, but it's okay. But then they've got people that they're booking as a 9, but can only deliver a 4. And we're so angry at you. Don't do it again, but we're going to keep booking you as a 9. Like,
We're going to give you every opportunity and every resource
to eventually give us the 9 that we want out of you.
Whatever you need, we're going to give it to you.
Yes.
But if you're already delivering there, we don't need to give you anything. Matter of fact, we're actually probably going to take whatever you have and give it to somebody else. But to me, you got to remember where I came in WWE and they said I was never going to be on TV. So every time they told me no, or every time I felt like a no, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Like, I was just like, I'm going to overcome, like, whatever, keep doing that. Like, and I don't know, I thrive in that environment. Like, I thrive in that, like, please doubt me. Like, please put me in a position where you don't think I can succeed so that I can.
You and I had a very good dynamic, and I think we did very well. Again, we have action figures, we're in the video games. I owe all that to you because I fit into your creation so easily.
But you bought into it. That's the thing. Is like you, same as Bodhi, same as Thea, like you 100% bought into it.
You know Tropic Thunder.
I do know Tropic Thunder.
You never go full chase you.
Right.
I went full chase you. But you have to. And especially because I'm a heel who anyone that knows me knows I'm a good heel in real life and on TV where every week people go, he's going to turn, he's going to turn, he's going to turn. Because look at him. He's a piece of shit. Of course he's going to turn.
Right.
And so the story was so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought into it so much with like the Hogan, like the Hulk up, the jabs. And I had a few other things that were hit or miss, but like I was just trying to find those things. To the point, I remember, I think it was Vengeance Day, where I did the Michaels forearm, and then I had to use the ropes to nip up. And I remember afterwards, Sean's like, "You just got nothing original, huh?" But I go, "That's the point.
Right.
I've got original stuff, but if you're not going to book me as someone where that stuff matters, I might as well go full chase you.
Yeah.
Because that just elevates the story and the believability of what we're trying to accomplish." My question was going to be, though, while we did very well in the circumstances that we had, I believe that under the original version, if it was you, Bodhi, Thea, you had much bigger chance of success because then you've got two 21-year-olds with you as the vet, as opposed to then it becoming two old people with Thea. And you can see the way that we were booked, we're there to elevate the others, but Thea was, I think, still highlighted differently to us, where she almost became the investment as well. Like
she became the investment.
Yeah, and I think that showed on the maybe not on the result, where she didn't win the title here and here, and you know you have to go. It's okay, Thea. You're 20 years old. You'll get another shot.
Right.
But I think because we had the two oldies and the one youngie, it became different. Whereas maybe if it was you with them two, there maybe would have been more of a chance if things had gone. And again, you'll never know.
You never know.
That's my belief.
And I try not to play that game too much.
Sure.
Because what good does it do if you do that, right?
There's no emotion attached to it. It's more just like a logical thinking.
But I can tell you this. It would have taken Bodie many years to get to where you were in the ring.
Yeah.
So there was a trade-off. It was we lost youth, but we gained experience. And because we saw that we were able to have these great matches, we got more great matches.
Yeah. The Vengeance Day with Bodie wouldn't have looked the same. The family with Bodie wouldn't have looked the same.
Yeah.
Fraxium wouldn't have looked. Yeah, I get you.
So I just want to go right and say I'm very happy with how my WWE run looked. Like again, from having no expectations to where we came, like
what was promised,
yeah,
or told what you were going to accomplish to what we got.
House money, right? Like the whole time I was in WWE, and WWE was never like my goal. Like I wanted to make a lot of money in wrestling, and WWE at that time was the only place. But now that's not the case anymore.
Yeah,
I know it's weird to say, but like WWE was almost like a side quest of like, okay, they offered me this opportunity. They told me that I was never going to amount to anything. Let me just go try to see what happens. And luckily, it became what it became because they had people like you and like Thea. And then everybody else that came along, right? Like JC. Like, man, it was such, like, so Thea added like the life to Chase U, right?
Yeah, the energy.
Yeah, and then you came and added the dynamic, the story. And then we became like the heart and soul of NXT television. Like, there were times we were in 5 segments. You know how expensive 1 minute of television is? And there was times we were on 5 segments, which is crazy. And like,
and not once or twice.
Not once or twice, no. And the thing is, too, we were also doing good ratings.
Yeah.
Like I tracked ratings every week. Not only that, the reason, and I'm sure the reason they put us on TV in 5 segments is because they knew people didn't change the channel when we were on. Like, we gained viewers. From a business perspective...
Yeah, you just put their favorites on TV with us.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because they're going to watch. They're going to watch Chase U. So who do we want to highlight this week?
Yep.
Let's get eyeballs on them. So it was like, man, Chase U just keeps succeeding and succeeding, but like, we don't really want them to succeed. Like, we don't want them in that spot. And it got to a point where it was like, we got to put the titles on them now.
Yeah.
Like, Halloween Havoc rolls around, we're hot. JC's with us. Like, we have this even new dynamic where we got this bad girl that Thea can play off of now. You and JC kind of like, y'all are the bad people. And I'm like, how am I holding this all together, right? And then we win the tag titles, and it's like this great thing. Because, so my dream as a kid, I grew up in Flair country, right? Like, I wanted to wrestle for WCW. So to win the tag titles at a historic WCW event at Halloween Havoc, like, that was, again, just like a bucket list thing. Like, man, I got to win the tag team titles at Halloween Havoc. This is crazy, right? So, like, because of that, we got to a point where we're like, we got to give them something, but we can't give them something for too long.
Yeah.
Like, we're only going to give them something, and then we're going to give that to somebody else as well.
Yeah.
So that was the fight we just kept having. Like, every day at the PC, every pre-tape, it became just a fight. Like, it became a battle because I was like, I know we are doing the best work on the show, and we're getting the biggest reactions on live events, and we're having the best matches. Why aren't we going to where we want to go?
Yeah, I remember looking at the merch sales as well. Yeah.
And I'm going to get to that too, but like, that was another thing. It was just like, what more from a business perspective, which is what we're supposed to be doing here, like putting ads every 18 inches, filling seats, whatever the case may be, selling merchandise. Any of the great metrics that any top guy or any great wrestler has said, hey, these are really important, we were checking those boxes. And it just still seemed like, yeah, but it's not for you.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be for somebody else. And that was, again, while it was a bit disheartening, it just became a fight every day.
Yeah.
Every promo, I'm going to say, this is why you need to do it. Every match, this is why you need to do it. This is why you need to give us more. And I'm not sure if that was a good way to be at that time, but it paid off.
Yeah. Mentioning Halloween Havoc and the title win, that was a lot of fun. That was an easy story with the family. I remember working Tony and Stacks. Do you remember the follow-up where we lost the belts?
I do.
And it was a double taping.
Yes.
And we were first.
Yep.
And you were doing a pre-tape outside literally until our entrance?
Yeah, literally until like they were like, you have to go do this match now.
Yeah. You and JC were outside doing the pre-tape, I think.
Yep.
I'm inside with Tony and Stacks going like, wait, what's the next spot? I don't know. Just punch me. And then, and what a drastic change. Because that first one where we won the belt to Halloween Havoc, everything went to plan, everything went well. The guys had time to understand what we were going for.
Right.
The follow-up, we're with pre-tapes and it's a double taping and we're first and there's a bit more stress.
Yeah, and I had no time to warm up. Like I didn't stretch. I was just like literally.
You did a Thatcher.
It was brutal.
Yeah. It's just a good example of kids that haven't got enough reps. Not to bury them.
No.
They're both young in their careers, especially at that time, in how important it is to have time to prepare, to understand what you're doing, to keep it simple. You know, I remember after that match, someone took a photo of Regal speaking to me and Tony looked like, but like, because no one was really that happy with the match, and there was a lot working against us.
Right.
Where obviously Tony and Stacks are more, not liked, but you know, more is expected of them in the role that they're in. So they, after having an average match, are going to be like, oh crap, we're going to have to hear about this from Sean and Bloom and yada yada. I remember us going like, hey, could have been worse.
We were happy, yeah.
Ooh, considering everything we had working against us, you guys did okay.
Yeah,
you know?
I remember them being much harder, and because the match wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as the first. And that's the thing too, is like when you have a series of matches, you hope that they get better and better as you go along.
Yeah.
But like the first one when we didn't touch was awesome.
Yeah.
And then like we had a few live event matches where I remember Tony gave me a spine buster, and like I had to pull him when I got backstage, and I was like, listen, on TV that's fine, but like please, on these live events I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. And then he was like, oh yeah, cool, my problem. Like he understood, but like he's just so strong and an athlete, and like as with a bunch of those younger guys, like they don't understand how strong they are.
No. Before Chase U, I had to work Steiner a few times.
Right.
And that was one of those like, oh, please, brother. Like, I know Bloom is telling you like, hey, man, just lay it in. You know, make it look real good. Like, kick his ass out there. I'm here going like, guys, it's fake.
Right.
Like, let me sell it. But I'm listening to them talk about my death in front of me. You know what I mean? I'm like, please, like, it doesn't have to be that way. And with the new generation, that's what they want.
But I will say they got it. Like all the young people I worked with, like they would get that talk, and then they would get a talk from me afterwards. They'd be like, "Hey, it's not like that.
Yeah.
This is how we're gonna do it." And they'd be like, "Okay, cool." And then it was all good. It was always good. Like
It's always going to be reps.
Yeah.
But they have to understand that before they go up.
Right.
Because from stories I've heard of some of these guys going up and making those mistakes with certain people, where it's like, what have they been doing down there for years?
Right.
Like, why don't they know what they're doing? Why are they doing it this way? And it's like, well, that's what they want.
Right.
And there has to be a happy medium because they can't learn it that late in the game.
Right.
When you go up there, you got to be able to work with those people. If you're looking back now, what is one or multiple favorite memories or experiences as a part of Chase U?
It's hard to narrow it down.
Sure. I know that the Carolina trip and the Vengeance Day was big for you.
That was big. That was a very cool, like, full circle thing.
Yeah.
Also, like, some of my friends were extras at that, so that was really cool, having them there for that. Just, like, the buildings that we got to wrestle in, because I'm a big fan of basketball, NBA. It's like wrestling in the Denver Nuggets arena, wrestling in one point was the Staples Center, now it's the Crypto Arena, but like where the Lakers play.
I liked just going to these places and just seeing you be
Yeah.
a kid in a candy store and be like, we have to take a photo here. I go, okay, I don't know what the meaning is, but...
Yeah, speaking of that, Heat Wave in Toronto, like that was probably my favorite WWE match. And I think one day we'll tell the story of like how chaotic that was coming together. And for now we'll just I think that's a fun story to dive into one day.
I look forward to people knowing the full thing.
But like, I think that was our best match as a team. I assume you would agree with that.
Yeah. My favorites are, again, anything with GYV.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first ones we did on a coconut where like I just kept cheating.
Yeah.
And that was
great.
It was hokey, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And getting into the character.
We were like 3 hours late. It was great. And like they were so mad at us, and then we had that match, and they were like, "Never mind, everything's okay."
There was that one. There was the one with GYV and Idris and Malik.
Yeah.
There was Heatwave. I know we've had another good tag match.
We had a few good tag matches.
Who with?
So I really like that first Pretty Deadly match. That was our first tag match, but like it was really, again,
Short,
just,
sweet, simple, but it got the job done.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really enjoyed that.
Because I don't really have that many other good matches like as a singles competitor in that time. I like the Oba one was fun.
Well, we'll get to that, but like
Sure.
that series of matches where all of us leading up to me and Ridge winning the tag
That
titles.
whole story, yeah.
There was nobody better.
We all delivered.
Yeah,
Yep.
than that.
Yep. I remember I had a three-way with. I had to wrestle Coffee early.
Yeah.
Where Sean, even though it was like a quick match, Sean was like, make sure you're like exhausted at the end of that match.
No problem.
Where like I rolled out and you had to like carry me back up, and you're like, that was
because the pre-tape was like you're so tired, but you still have to go wrestle this next
because
match.
I have to be exhausted because I have to be bad because I'm lucky to be in the spot. Yeah. Working double duty, I was like, this is a rib.
Yeah.
Because they like I'm not the workhorse of this faction. But like I didn't have that many good singles matches, but like I know we had some good other tag matches, and I can't think of what they were. I really enjoyed Stand and Deliver against Gacy, Simone,
Yeah, that was
and
awesome.
GYV. I was very disappointed that it was on the pre-show, and again, that's a story for another day.
I think that's something we could do. We could go back, kind of like analyze different matches and talk about what went into it. So like, I don't want to dive too deep into it now because I feel like that's a thing we can do at some point.
Yeah, if you Twitch stream again.
Oh, we're back.
You still on Twitch?
Well, again, we was waiting for the name and all that announcement, but yeah,
Okay,
because my previous stream was
Sure. It was
a different name. Yeah.
We can't use
But
it
once that's all done, we're back.
Okay. Yeah, Stand and Deliver was a lot of fun. Heatwave was an experience, but hey, we pulled it off.
But when it was done, I was like,
I remember you, because I'm a perfectionist and I'm very critical of my stuff. And I remember being like, yeah, but that should have been like this, or I could have been there for that. They should have done this for me, or whatever. And you're like, dude, just take the win. This is something that isn't like a Chase You memory, but it's a memory for me.
okay.
Where I always had this thing where I would say like, God, I'd never want to work that person. And then fate would just make it happen. And it kept happening.
You put it out there in the universe.
It was the Creeds, it was Bron. There was certain people that like, just because of where they were in their career, I was like, I don't really want to yet.
Yeah.
And then I remember it was at Heatwave. I was going to mention why Grimes was calling me during the day that day, but I won't. But I remember watching Wes versus Oba, because I think that was the opener.
I remember, yes.
And I remember like looking at that, and like I think Ethan Page was in the locker room. I was like, God, this is why I never want to wrestle Oba. I don't want the North American title. He can have it.
Right.
I don't want to have to take that like big back suplex that he does. And of course, that night after the Heatwave match at the bar, they're like, "You're wrestling Oba," and I go, "No." And you know what I did? I got a great match out of him.
Yeah.
And I didn't take that back suplex because I took it on the table.
Right.
And I was like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, I saved myself. So let's get into that whole, let's get into the Ridge stuff. Duke comes in to chase you, untrustworthy, but eventually,
Stand and Deliver, you rip the shirt off.
He's chased you
he's
through
here
and
now.
through.
Yeah.
He's black and red.
Yeah.
I remember doing a pre-tape and forgetting the colours.
Just look down.
But there's sometimes they were very precise with how they wanted you to say it in a specific order and whatever, and there wasn't room for improv or.
I remember that promo. I remember you.
You do?
Struggling with that, yeah.
Grayson remembers the one where we were like we got there at 4 p.m. and we didn't film it till like 9 p.m. and then it's me and Grayson back and forwards, and then someone in creative kept moving things, and he goes, "What is happening?" I go, "He does this with us all the time." Cut. Just gonna move this a little bit. Go again. He goes, "Is he serious?" I go, "Yeah, every week. Like he's just screwing with us, and I have to eat it.
My brother asked me, what do I miss the least about the WWE experience? It was that the 6 hour, 7 hour pre-tapes that should have been done in 1 hour, hour and a half tops.
I remember speaking to a friend who's at AEW, and he's like, "Just do it once.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. No one cares. Do it once. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done. No one's gonna watch it again.
Right.
Who cares?" Which is true.
I mean, again, I'm a perfectionist myself, and I live and die. Like, I want everything to be the best it can.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, when you're on hour 7,
How many times did you do a pre-tape where you know that the second or third take
It's the best.
was the best, and then on the 10th, you're like, the energy's gone, the hype, like no one's feeling this anymore. We've lost it.
Yeah.
What was my? I got really angry there for a second. I just started seeing red. Yeah, I don't miss pre-tapes. And this is a completely different discussion for another day. But that doesn't set you up for the main roster whatsoever.
Agreed.
And they need to change that. But that's their system.
Right.
And as one of the coaches told me, hey, it's not the best system, but it's their system.
That's good.
You go, yeah, you gotta do what they say, right? So me,
It's like Riley came in as well.
God bless him. I really liked teaming with Riley.
So there's just another example. I did too. There was just another example of like, they had the breakout tournament, the next one.
Yeah.
They needed somebody for Oba to beat in the finals. So we're like, oh, we'll just have Riley debut that he's in Chase U when he had never had any interaction with us. But again, they knew that Chase U was so valuable that we can get it to the finals, but then have Oba beat Chase U, and it makes him, because he's going to win the North American Championship, the next match. So like, it's just another example of like, they knew what they had with us. So like, they would do certain things where I'm like, oh, so you do see our value. You're just not really going to give it for us. You're going to find every way you can to give it to someone else.
Yeah.
And I'm not hating. I'm just saying that happens so many times.
It's the system we signed up for and decided to stay in. Right. So like, I think when people see videos like this, it's very easy to go like, why are you complaining?
And that's not complaining. It's just the facts. Like, it's just
exactly. Yeah. There's two things can be true.
Yeah.
Like whether people believe that it's the truth or not. This is my experience. This is my opinion based on my experiences in this place.
Because we lived it.
You say one thing. There was something recently I saw. This is my ADHD going crazy because I've gone on a massive tangent. There was something I saw recently. Someone sent me a thread of Duke Hudson on Reddit. It was something that I said. Something I said in an interview somewhere.
Right.
And I've talked about athletes in the PC, and there is 40 different opinions, literally, of like, why is Duke saying this? Why does he care? He didn't, yada yada. Like pro and con,
right?
But just their different perspective or opinions on my opinion, which can be taken out of context so easily. And I go, this is the fun part of the internet.
Fun is one word.
You say something,
and
people can take it any way they want. The fun part of dealing with, I'm going to say it, women at the PC. Where they are reading everything on Twitter,
right, and
they're only looking at the negatives.
Yeah,
and you go, hey, there's also positives.
There's a lot of positives.
And like, I choose to look at both,
right,
and go like, well, if 90% of it is negative, I think I did a bad job. But if it's 50-50, all right, well, I'm going to look at both opinions.
Right.
I'm going to look at the pros, the cons, or the positive and the negative, and then make my own opinion based on that, as opposed to just looking at the negatives and crying and going like, the internet hates me.
Yeah.
You can if that's what you choose to do. I don't think it's the smartest or healthiest thing to do. But anyway, I'm going to try and go back on track here because we're going to go way over time, and I apologize. Duke comes in, untrustworthy. Dempsey and Gulak,
yeah,
untrustworthy.
Right.
JC comes in, right? JC was after them.
Yes.
Untrustworthy. And I go, can we
have somebody who's trustworthy?
At what point do we go, hey, wait a minute? Especially me going like, hey, I was this and now, like, and I swear there was like maybe one instant of that where it was like Mr. Chase, I don't know if we should trust this.
There was one time, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was with Ridge, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, we've already looked so stupid doing it over and over again.
Well, that was always, and the way Sean explained it to me, like, that was always my character flaw. Was like
being too kind.
And always wanting to help.
Yeah.
He was like, you are the person who always tries to see the best in people. He was like, and no matter how many times you get burned, you just got to keep seeing the good in people.
Sure.
He was like, because you've got people who have proved you, like, you've got Duke, like, you have people who, they've proven you right, so, like, keep doing that no matter how many times you get burned. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever you need.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And that was my character flaw, not yours.
Yeah. By the time it got to Ridge,
yeah,
I was like, all right, we know this. We know this drill. We know this. We know how this plays out.
But this was the only time, and correct me if I'm wrong, this was the only time in creative that something had been laid out to me months in advance, and it happened exactly as it was laid out to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll get into it as we go, but, like, It was the first time. So, like, Thea, You know, we were ringside with, so it was supposed to be Thea and JC. So like we get to stand and deliver. It was always supposed to be Thea and JC.
Was that the 6th woman?
Yeah, but it turned into a 6th woman. It was like, oh, this is so good. Like
Probably just to fit more women on the card. I
yeah,
assume.
that stuff with JC though was awesome. Like
was.
she added so much to our story, to our act, and I would like to think we helped her too. But like it was like from December on, I heard like, all right, it's going to be Thea and JC. And I was like, okay, awesome. Stand and deliver Thea and JC, Thea and JC. And then like 3 weeks ahead of time, like, oh, it's actually a 6th person. I'm like. It's still good. Like they still had their moment in the match, but it just wasn't like, it was such a good story, again, that did great ratings.
Yeah.
And then it just changed.
I just want to tell one story from that
Sure.
from that time, because I remember enjoying that story a lot, like the gambling and
Yeah, it's great. That's my favorite thing of it. Like that story of like me losing everything.
Yep.
The paparazzi.
Yep.
Me looking disheveled.
It was really good. It was really good. The calendar thing was a bit I like, because it made the women I think it would have been a better ending to have us do it, and
Right.
that's what succeeded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the guys' calendar, because then I think you get away from it. Like
That was thrown out, I know, at least as an idea or like something. But if it would have happened, I would have
It would have been
hilarious.
amazing.
Yeah.
Because I would have loved to have had both calendars.
Yeah.
But I remember there was a pre-tape where the paparazzi are outside, and you remember now? Yeah. I remember going like, it would be so funny if you were just like, you see the cameras, you put out this cigarette and you're like, crap, because you're real stressed.
I'm stressed. Yeah.
I go, I'm going to ask Sean. And you go, like, we didn't get the most time with Shawn Michaels.
Because this is TV day.
It's TV day. He's stressed. He's
He's running rehearsals.
Yeah. I just felt it was really important.
Yeah.
So I went up to Sean. I was like, hey, what do you reckon if Chase is smoking a cigarette? And like, as he sees the cameras, you know, he quickly puts it out. He goes, oh, you know, you can't have the smoking
can't smoke
on TV. I go, oh, cool. Just thought I'd ask. And you were like, you just went up to the greatest of all time, Shawn Michaels, and interrupted him during rehearsals to ask him that. I go, yeah, that's my friend Sean. Sean, I'm sorry. I love you.
That's good. This isn't the only time something like that has happened. Do you remember the other time where I got mad at you for finally getting like one-on-one time with someone of importance? And
is this about Fraxium? Or
yes.
Axiom?
Yes.
Yeah, when you were fighting very hard to get us our own custom
nameplate. Yeah.
And I was like, again, coming from a background of CGI and visual effects, and I'm like, Axiom's entrance isn't as good as it could be.
Right.
Don't you think you should do it this way? And you're like, why are you talking about Axiom?
You interrupted me pitching for myself to pitch for Axiom, which has no bearing on our careers. So I'm trying to make us look like stars.
Yeah.
And you're trying to make Axiom look like a star.
Yeah.
Do you understand why?
He can't even do that. No, he's all right. No, I understand. I probably wasn't the easiest to deal with all the time, and I'm sure other people would say the same. What was your experience with me as a tag team partner?
Well, so I'm a tag team wrestler, right? And I've been lucky to have like a lot of good tag team partners, and like unique for sure. Like our experience was unique, but like I think both of our goals was to just have the best match we possibly can. But we also both have an attention to detail, which is important, especially in tag team matches. I'm sure there's a lot of people who thought I was difficult to put matches together with, because that'd be like, oh, but what about the, like, I want to know what the timekeeper's doing. I want to know what the referee's doing. I want to know what the camera person's doing. Like, I just want to be so in control of those things. And I want to have such attention to detail. So when people would be like, oh, that doesn't really matter, does it? Or when I have a producer go, oh, that part doesn't matter. I would go, well, it actually matters a lot to me, so I want to get this figured out. And I feel like whenever I did that, you understood where I was coming from.
Yeah.
Whereas some people took that as like being really difficult to work with. But it's like, no, I need to know this because it's important to this is the important step A, because I'm already thinking of how to get to step D, but all these things get us to step D. Like there was a part, and again, we'll talk about this later, but in the Heat Wave match, where somebody changed something and they didn't understand why we had to change 6 more things because of it. Yeah. They were like, what do you mean? And I was like, no, you don't understand. That set this up. And we went here to get here to get here. But if we're taking this part out, we can't just go from here to here. It doesn't make sense anymore.
Tag team wrestling is special if you make it special.
Yes.
If you just do spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can stand out, why not stand out? As opposed to thinking, oh, I'm going to stand out by doing these moves. I've seen the moves. Yeah. I've taken the moves. But like we have the opportunity to tell a very unique, different story. Let's let's give it the credit. Like, let's put in the effort.
Yes.
And then let's get the payoff we deserve.
Yep.
But different people have different ways of wrestling, good and bad, right or wrong. And sometimes you know, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong.
Right.
It doesn't.
It's not your show.
No.
But that was so the opposite for you. What was it like working with me as a? But we were more than tag team partners because we were like, we weren't. It wasn't just matches.
I thought you were going to say gambling addicts. Yeah, go
That
on.
as well.
Sorry.
But like, you know, we were we were together. Me, you, and Thea were just like for that part of our lives together every day for however long. So.
Yeah.
How do you feel about dealing with me and Thea and the craziness that came along with it?
I loved coming in to chase you. I loved being a part of it. Dealing with Thea was an experience in its own right.
Yeah.
Because, you know, now that we're older,
Yeah.
and then you like, I saw a quote recently that's like, you don't feel 30 until you are 30 and you're talking to someone that's 22, and suddenly you feel 45. And it was like, speaking to Thea made me feel older than I was.
Definitely.
But she's very talented. She's very enthusiastic. She's very passionate. She has some flaws.
We all do.
We all do. But I think she deserves some flowers.
She'll get her chance.
And deserves an opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope she gets it.
Same.
A lot of our time together is you being optimistic of like, I'm hoping that this pays off, or we get our opportunity because of the things that we've accomplished. And I'm going like, nah, they're telling us what they think of us. And I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. I'm just going off of what they're giving us.
Right.
And it's the same with Thea, where I go like, she's getting lumped in with us. I mean, she got put in the group. I mean, she was in the group before me, right? But now post Chase U, post Duke, I expect her to get an opportunity that she deserves, and I just don't think she's gotten it yet.
But again, she is young, so hopefully she will get it. But
yes, and they have used that with her so many times.
Agreed.
You're young, you'll get your opportunity. What about Roxanne? What about like these other young people that you are giving the opportunities to? You choose who to give it to and not to. Yeah. Thea does deserve an opportunity.
Definitely.
Bro, think about the amount of times we went into the NXT arena, whatever you want to call it. Thea was always the one.
Oh, definitely.
She was special.
Yeah.
We were there being a part of the Thea Hale show.
Yeah.
I remember when Zarya just started at the PC and she was doing a PC live against Thea, and she dropped her a little awkwardly, and I yelled out like, "Don't hurt my money," because I was like, Thea is like, we need Thea.
Yeah.
And I was scared of her getting hurt, even if, because there were a lot of matches where we went out there, and this is just how special I think we were. Even if we went out there and they were booing us at the start, they were always cheering us at the end.
Of course.
We always had them.
Yeah.
That was them with you and I, though.
Yeah.
I think that was specifically you and I. Oh, here comes Duke and Chase. We do our job right. All right, we're on their side.
Right.
But I think with Thea, they were always behind Thea.
Yeah, but that was only a small bit when like you just don't want indifference, right? If you, I don't care what you're doing really, as long as you're interacting and making noise.
Yeah.
Because I know what the end product is going to be.
Yeah.
And you're right. But like I just always appreciate how even when we were like a little like, what's going on? Like he's being mean to Thea, but he's not really being mean. He's just being caring. And like, I thought that was one cool part of our act is like, we actually were people with feelings. Mm-hmm. Like we weren't just characters on a wrestling show. Like we actually had enough time and enough TV time to tell our stories.
Yeah.
So we all had our individual attributes. And then like if there was one week where it could be perceived like maybe I was being tough on Thea. So that week we would get instant feedback like, oh, boom, it's a Chase. But then again, we would do something that's part of the larger story and we're right back to it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people had that at that time.
That's true.
So that's one thing that I always appreciate is at least, if nothing else, we had time to get our personalities over. Mm-hmm. And you knew what we were feeling week to week.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we could take you on our emotions every week.
Again, it's like, I wish that had paid off. Like
Yeah.
I wish we could have got our flowers for, and granted, maybe the people in charge think we did because we weren't meant to be,
of course,
whatever. So it's like, yes, I'm very happy with what we did, and my God, like we definitely proved what we were capable of, and we could have accomplished so much more given the chance.
We just didn't get it, and that's
it's not something to keep you up at night. It's a very much like, that's unfortunate. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm stuck. I'm talking about it with you, right? So it's going to be relevant. but it's not something it keeps me up at night.
Right.
You know, poker keeps me up at night. Working with Ridge.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk us through that story?
So yeah, the only time throughout my almost 6 years in WWE that something was laid out to me from the beginning, and it essentially was played out exactly the way they said. So Ridge comes up to me one day and is like, hey, have you heard? And I'm like, heard what? You know what I mean? Because we had just kind of come off the JC thing. Mm-hmm. You know kind of one story is wrapping up and we don't really know. But like, it was like immediately like JC and Thea had the match where JC got her nose busted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Ridge was in that pre-tape. So it was like, we are literally like, that match just finished and then we have a pre-tape that same night of Ridge introducing, doing a thing with Thea. Yeah, and I was just, and he told me, like he laid it out to me and was like, this is what I was told was going to happen. And literally everything he said was going to happen, happened until the ambulance match. So I think that was the best work we did as a group.
Yeah, in ring.
In ring.
And
yeah. But everything, like, because that's when we were like in 5 segments a show and like the best storytelling we did, I think, was that. And again, I think.
I mean, that was Heatwave.
That was
Oba.
So we did the gauntlet match was awesome too. So like where we wrestled Pete and Tyler in the finals.
Oh yeah.
So that was the finals. Like whoever won that was going to go to Heatwave. So like I really enjoyed that thing. Then the Heatwave match, and then it was like, okay, everybody in Chase U's going to get a title shot. Thea and Roxanne tore the house down at Great American Bash. You and Oba tore the house down the next week, and like you could just hear it, like you could feel it. It was like it was like. We were already very popular. We reached a different level of that. And that's why it's crazy to me that like what happened.
Yeah.
Because like we were...
They would die for that to happen to any of their favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thea and Roxanne tear the house down. You and Oba tear the house down. And the gimmick being like, lose the title match. All right, now...
So that you and Ridge can...
Now me and Ridge get a shot at Axiom and Frazier.
Yep.
So we've lost a tag team title match. You've lost a North American title match. Thea loses the women's championship match. We finally get our shot. We win the tag titles. All this was laid out exactly as they said it was going to be, which never happens. We win the tag titles. We go to No Mercy. We go to Denver. They win them right back. Ridge turns on us.
Yeah. That's where I screwed you over with the colors. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I really wanted to make those Power Ranger pants a tax write-off.
You did.
And it just made you...
But at what cost?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So yeah, we go to... And I'm not trying to like rush through this, just an overview of like... And to show like the only time that they said this is what's going to happen and this is what happened. Ridge turns on you guys. I'm going to come back at some point. Yeah, Ridge puts me... They're stretching me out.
You got written off TV again.
Yeah.
Half your career was off TV. Half your career was
I was the toughest guy in the business, to be honest. Like, nothing. Many have tried. Many have failed to put me out. I come back. I don't know if you know this part. It was supposed to be in Chicago, the first night of the CW. So
I was probably sitting at home.
NXT changes from USA to CW. The debut show was in Chicago.
Is this when you and Thea got flown out?
Yes.
And didn't do anything?
And Riley. Yeah.
Oh.
So we're going to do it in Chicago. Somebody goes over. It gets scrapped from Chicago. Don't worry, we're going to do it in St. Louis. First match goes over, and Randy's in the main event. So like we're supposed to be right before the main event, and they don't want to cut Randy's time, so obviously they cut us again. All right, we'll do it next week back at the PC. Which I always preferred it to be... Like, if I was going to have a big match, I prefer it to be on TV because more people watch the show than they do the PLEs and stuff. It's like any big thing that was going to happen, I actually would prefer that on the TV show because you're going to get a lot more, much bigger audience.
The only thing I would say is that the PC was always very, hit and miss, and we had to win them over every time.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Whereas when we were on the road, we were always...
Agreed.
Yeah.
And that's the litmus. I'm going to get back to that. Remind me to come back to that real quick.
I'm going to try.
But that's the litmus test if we're over time.
No one's watching anymore.
Okay. So this is just for us.
Yeah.
Finally, I come back, beat up Ridge, challenge him to Halloween Havoc. It's going to be an ambulance match. We come up with all these excellent ideas. We get told by our producer, hey, Chase U's getting their comeuppance on Ridge for No Mercy, where he beat everybody up. the whole faction is going to come out. Y'all are going to beat Ridge's ass. Y'all are going to throw him into the ambulance, close the door, chase you. Big comeuppance. Mm-hmm. I tell you guys this. We're in a meeting of some sort. I can't remember what it is. You guys all look at me. This is like 2 hours after I've told you what's going to happen. And you show me your phones where you have been, your flights have been canceled, your appearances have been canceled on the TR app. You're not even going to Halloween Havoc. So I go, well, that finish that they just told me must have been changed at some point. Don't really think much more of it. I don't hear anything else about what's happening until the day of. I get their day of, they're like, Ridge is over. They're just going to beat you up through your ambulance. I said, okay, cool. And I'm watching the show, I'm warming up backstage, and I see the North American title match, Tony D'Angelo versus Obafemi. The exact same thing they laid out for us, where we come out and we beat his ass, happens in that match. So the family comes out, they beat up Oba, they do the exact same finish that I was told we were going to do earlier in the week. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense.
But that happened to us a lot.
Yeah, again, they just took and just gave it to...
Anytime there was that good, big, important kind of spot, and then we go, we could do that. And they go, we're using that for... It happened with Ethan winning the title as well.
That was the part I was talking about where, at Heatwave, that was...
But we always found another way to make it work.
It's okay, cool. So then, I just kind of think that's it. So he's beat us all up, and then he just beat me pretty straight up in the ambulance match. So I think, that's done. We'll move on to whatever else. And then we get that weird text message on the following Monday saying, can you guys come in for a creative meeting?
Now, we didn't have anything. I know we didn't have anything.
Right.
Because I had gone to play poker.
Right.
So I knew we weren't needed for
We weren't needed for a pre-tape or anything.
Yeah.
But then later in the evening on that Monday, we get can you come in for a creative meeting? Mm-hmm. Now, the connotation for a creative meeting being we're going to spitball, we're going to come up with ideas, this is going to be a back and forth conversation. We get there, and essentially, well, you and I, you don't get there. Me, Riley, and Thea get there. You call in via the hotline.
Yeah.
And they tell us Chase U is done. Mm-hmm. They're going to break us up, and it's going to be me and Ridge the following week, number 1 contenders match. And then
that's that.
That's that. That's the end of the...
And I got to tell you, it was... And granted, this... We'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know.
And that's the great part. We can just theorize and be like, all right, on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But it's always fun to think about they knew they were getting rid of me. And at what point did they... You know what I mean? How much did that impact all these changes? Right. And granted, I'm okay with some of the changes that happened. Because I remember... leading up to the ambulance match, I tore my groin. And so I was like, oh my God, if I have to... Because I think the idea was, I would be in the back of the ambulance. I come out of it, beat up Ridge. I was like, I can't move.
Yeah. So,
I was actually very happy that I didn't have to do that because I tore my hamstring, or my groin, taking an arm drag from Thunder. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it was enough that I was like, oh my God, I wouldn't adrenaline would kick in, I'd be okay, but you'd see me limping, and I was like, I'd rather that not be on TV.
Right.
Bless Thunder, dude, because he was fresh, and I remember him being like, yo, was that my fault? I was like, yeah. No, I did a leg workout. I didn't stretch.
Right.
I didn't warm up. I got in the ring, took an arm drag, and I was, that was rough. Doc's like, how old are you? I go, 30s. He goes, how old are you? I go, 30s. He goes, you're at that age. I go, don't say that. He goes, yeah, you're still going to feel young and agile and strong and yada yada, but things are going to start going a little bit easier.
Well, thank you for that.
So now I stretch and I warm up and I make sure I'm all good. But that was an eye opener.
Right.
So the meeting happens. I was very quiet.
Yeah.
Because I understand. I see where they've put us, and again, I'm going back to draft nights where they go, "You sit over there. You're not getting called up."
Right.
And I go, "Thank you for your respect."
Right.
What do you do?
Right.
I there's no point in conversing when it's not a conversation, and I'm sure that's what you're going to say.
Right.
I understand that we are being told.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
As you probably heard during so when they tell me what they're doing, they don't really tell me why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Which obviously they don't have to. It's not, not much.
No.
But Because again, I think this is a conversation. I start from a business perspective, from a numbers and a dollars and cents perspective. I start to say, well, I think this is a bad idea because at Halloween Havoc, the merch guy, Teddy, pulls me aside and he goes, hey, like, I just wanted to let you know, like, you sold just as much merchandise as Trick and Roxanne, the champions. And he goes, wait, now that I think about it, you did that at No Mercy too. He's like, no, I think Heatwave, you had the highest selling shirt. And like, he's like telling me this information and I'm like, Chase U was almost like a secret. Like if you didn't watch the show regularly, you wouldn't know that we were on the show.
You
Bro, Trick Williams and Roxanne are awesome. And they got what they deserve and what they should have gotten. But they were on every piece of advertising. They were on every commercial. They were on every flyer. Mm-hmm. They were on every race car.
They were promoted.
They were promoted heavily.
Yep.
While we were just kind of that grassroots movement of like, we're going to work hard and we're going to get everything. And we're going to win each fan over one talent at a time. And it was working. So to go back to what I said, the litmus test, like you said, Chase U was always one of the most popular acts anywhere we went in the country. So whenever I see somebody say, oh, Chase U would have never worked on the main roster.
They don't understand what they're talking about.
The sample size that we had when we were in arenas that the main roster runs, we were getting the biggest reactions. People spelling Chase U, people chanting Chase U. Like, so for the people who say it wouldn't have worked, I don't know what other sample size you could say or litmus test to say, this obviously worked.
And I've always said that perception is everything. Those people are just going off of what they hear, off of who they believe, right? Like what's the phrase is like the victors write the history books or whatever that is.
Yeah.
So whoever's telling them, hey, this is what's happened. This is the history. This is what you need to believe. A lot of these people just go, okay,
yeah,
I believe that. Well, that's what he said, and I look up to him because of the role he's in. So that's clearly the truth. So what are you guys talking about?
There was two things I always remember. I remember it was you. I think it was in the Heatwave match. You said you like did the jabs and you turned around and threw up the U, and you said it was just a sea of people.
That it's burned into my brain of just one of those. That's like a core memory of throwing it up and seeing everyone do it and going, ha,
that was cool.
Okay.
So I have that in the ambulance match. So like I climb on the ambulance and I'm going to jump on him and I throw it up. And I just see an arena full of people, and there's a picture of it, which I'm one of the best pictures I've got in wrestling. But it's everybody within the camera sight, and I'm just like, oh man. So like, for anybody who says that, I feel like they don't really understand, or if you go back and watch that, they will understand. So I talk about that. I talk about how we are the highest selling merch. Also, I talk about how good our ratings are, which they already have to know because they book us in 5 segments of show. Mm-hmm. So it's like they already know this. But I'm just going again. From every top guy in wrestling, the metrics that they say are important, I'm telling them why we have achieved these metrics. With very little advertising and very little help from them, why does it make sense that we're selling as much merch as Trick Williams and Roxanne Perez when they're in every main event, every piece of advertising? It shouldn't compute, and somehow we have done it. So please, from a business perspective, again, I'm telling this to the creative team, from a business perspective, can you please tell me why this is a good idea? And they can't.
No, of course
they
not.
just say, this is the direction we're going. And that's when I realized it wasn't a conversation. They had already made up their minds, and I go, okay.
Yep.
My work here is like I can't do anything to change your mind. So no matter the ratings, no matter the merchandise sales, no matter the reactions, they were just ready to move on.
Yeah. So we get to that Ridge match. It goes how it goes. I said this to Ridge, I really wanted that flower moment in the ring with us because everyone's wearing the Chase U shirts. It would have been so cool to have that photo, and they didn't want us to have it.
But it didn't cheat us; it cheats the fans.
I agree.
They wanted us because they were on this ride. They were a part of Chase U as much as we were. So like, I always thought in that moment, like that's very selfish because we're supposed to be giving the fans what they want.
I don't think it was selfish. I think it was spiteful.
Maybe
because that's why we were getting broken up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But like to not give the fans that.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset that we didn't get it. I'm really upset that the fans didn't get it. Because that's what pro wrestling is. We're supposed to give the fans what they want. And we didn't that night. So
yeah. It is what it is. Well, I'm out the door. How are things at the PC?
Oh, man. I didn't really take that too well. I didn't really take your firing too well because I didn't understand it. It was also in a time where I didn't understand why Chase U broke up. I felt like we just completely had our legs cut from under us for no reason.
Someone important said to me, you had your legs swept out and you were pushed off the top of the mountain, like both things at once.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, and there's nothing I can do about it.
And
You just roll with the punches.
just showing up to work, knowing how hard we had worked, and not just for us, we worked so hard for everybody else.
For Thea, for Riley, but also for
our opponents.
Simone,
Yeah.
GYV, Gacy, for JC, for Gulak, for Dempsey, for Ridge, for anyone that had anything to do with us.
Yeah. I gave them 100% effort.
Yeah.
I worked so hard to make sure that everybody who interacted with us was in a better position afterwards.
Corbin, Bron Breaker, let me just
Yeah.
add those names in there.
Fraxium.
Fraxium.
Like,
But if you read the comments, it was all them.
that's okay. Like, I can only, again, control what I can control, right? That's,
It's being at peace with what you know.
Yeah. And I know-
I understand the perception, and I know what I did,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of what I did.
yeah. And
Helps
just
you sleep at night.
not even getting a chance after that, like especially that run, like how much we did for everybody else in that run to not say, wow, look at what they've done. Here you go. And instead just go, let's kill it and let's start over. So you leave, Thea's off TV.
Yeah.
I am supposed to just be, my only direction was be depressed. And I was like, no problem. I can do that because I'm not very happy right now about all this. So yeah, they're just like, don't shave, grow your hair out, and this will all be over eventually. And I was like, okay, well, what's the plan? And at this point, even though they just did what they did, I was like, well, they did lay out a plan, what happened with Ridge, and all that essentially happened. They were like, here's the deal. So Uriah and Kale and BJ Ray had recently submitted some like pitches to Creative, and they were like a frat, and they were good. Like it was a really good pitch, and they were like, what better way to have a frat than in a university?
And I remember the last pre-tape I did was the one with us in the classroom,
Yeah,
Fraser and what's his name, Axiom come in, and it was a double taping. That was where me and Riley wrestled. Then.
correct.
BJ was in that
Yes,
because he was standing on the desk with no shoes, and it infuriated me. But like you could see that that's kind of where they were
Yeah.
going.
So the idea was as laid out to me, like so it was like the next week, like Ridge beats us. I'm on TV the next week, which doesn't seem like,
Yeah.
I'm just like packing the sweater away, packing the classroom up, like it's done, whatever. We're done. That was the stipulation of the match. We're done. And then Kale yells out at the end, like, hey, Mr. Chase. And like, so the idea was going to be, BJ, Uriah, and Kale. And they were going to be like a frat. And I was going to be like Will Ferrell and Old School. So I was going to be like, they were going to make me kind of be that guy. I'd already had a gambling addiction. I'd already shown I have vices. But I was going to like try to teach them like I've done with all my other students. But instead, they were going to get the better of me, and I was going to like join the frat. I was going to be Will Ferrell and Old School. It was going to be funny. It was going to be fun. But then I start to realize, oh, they're not laughing with me. They're laughing at me.
Sure.
Like it was going to come to a point where a pre-tape would happen, and then like Thea would come back and be like, what is wrong? Like she would be like my snap back to reality. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? They're clowning you. They're not actually friends with you. And then whatever would happen. BJ gets hurt.
Yeah, he did his shoulder?
He did his shoulder. Yeah. And again, this was from Creative. I heard this was laid out from Creative. So I was like, well, again, the last one they said it was going to be this and it was that. So maybe this is, BJ does a shoulder. He's about to come back, and then they want him for LFG season 2.
Yeah.
A&E's like, we want him for season 2 because him and Bubba. And I was like, so me, Kel, and Uriah end up cutting this essentially the same backstage for like 8 weeks.
Ugh.
Just waiting for like BJ. They're just like, it's like, just stay on TV. And like, so like they court me for like 8 weeks, but it's essentially the same.
Buying time.
You're just buying time. And then we have a few matches, and Sean pulls aside. He's like, this is going to be great. We're going to get new music. We're going to get neutrons. We're going to get, like, it's still going to be Chase U, but only in name. Like, it's just going to be a lot different. It's going to be a lot different feel. It's going to be younger. So kind of also and I found this out afterwards, as this is happening, what's Vanity Project and Evolve? They start doing something similar.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how it happened, but like, then BJ gets released,
Yeah.
and like the original version of that was essentially just given to Vanity Project.
Yeah, they've gone, well, they're younger.
Yeah, exactly. And they like their early 20s, like this is how that would be.
Yeah.
So then because of that, when it was time for us to actually do it, from what I heard, they were like, okay, like in the creative meeting, they were like, and then we're going to do this as we discussed. And then Sean was like, well, we kind of already done that with Vanity Project. What else you got?
Yeah, right.
And there was nothing else.
Yeah.
So then we just kind of did what we did, and like it just really, again, just cut the legs out from under us. Like we had something set up that was going to be fun and good, and then the combination of BJ getting hurt, BJ getting released, Vanity Project doing their thing, Sean saying, well, it's too similar now, so we can't do that. Let's come up with something else. The something else was, let's just break it up.
Wait. Yeah.
Let's just wait and like let it fizzle out, and then
Yeah.
let's get rid of it.
They always tell you. They always tell you what's
Yeah.
going on, you know. And they told you by taking Uriah.
Yeah.
They say it. Finley's kid.
Yeah.
And good on him.
But
you know?
like but even still, like so there was one point where I remember like, oh, this is really like, no matter what I do, we're not winning them back over. So I had a match with Briggs, and it was like, I was standing up for Uriah and Kale. Now at this point, Uriah and Kale have not won a match. Like they just keep beating them and beating them and beating them. Like, so we have no value, no equity. Like we are literally just guys on the show at this point. And I wrestled Briggs, and the crowd is going crazy. Like the crowd is like, just, it was the first time since the Ridge match.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, they remember. Like,
I feel like I remember this match. Were you in the shirt?
no, I was back to me being how I was.
Okay.
I wasn't in the white shirt.
Oh.
So I wrestled Ethan in the white shirt, which was a good match, but it was like they had me to be depressed, and they had me like
Okay.
do the like it wasn't an Andre Chase match.
Not to cut you off, or
Sure.
take too long, but I remember them like building back up to doing the Chase U stomps.
Yes,
Was that the Ethan or the Briggs?
that was the Ethan match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they had me almost do it, but then not do it because I was still depressed. Or whatever.
Gotcha. So the Briggs match.
But the Briggs match was the first match where I was back, and like I was just like, well, I don't really have any other, like I've been wrestling depressed for 6 months now. Let me just go out there and have my match. And I did, and like the crowd's going crazy. And there was one part where like I hit him with something, and the crowd is like really high. And then I turn to them, and I just fire up, and they go even louder.
Which always happens.
Yeah.
You're very good at that.
But I mean, like it was the highest they've been since like the Ridge match for us, when they have no reason to, because we've just been beat. I've been depressed, and it's just But then I heard that, and I felt that, and I was like, okay, cool. We get to the back, and Sean goes, because it was right before the finish, and you know how Sean likes the finishes. Go, accelerate. So he goes, Chase, you had them in the palm of your hand. They were blowing the roof off. Why did you go to the people? And I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy. You guys hear what I can do, but you don't want it.
Yeah.
So then that's when I was like, I'm not going to be able to change their minds, I don't think. And 6 months later.
Yeah. That's not what they wanted.
Right.
So why are you trying to do that?
Yeah. And that's, Sean didn't say that, but he was like, you already had him so high. Why did you try to take him even higher? Because I thought I was going crazy. I needed to know that y'all heard that. Yeah. And I needed to know that I wasn't going crazy. That when I'm out here and these people are going crazy, y'all hear it too. And he proved the point. He did hear it. It's just not what he wanted. And again, 6 months later, that was it.
Out the door, how did it feel? One of us.
So I felt like I kind of manifested my release in a way.
Why?
So it was it's right before WrestleMania, and it's another WrestleMania weekend that I'm not on.
Oh yeah, I was there and you weren't.
Yeah.
I was at the Aria.
So and we had spoken privately. Like I was in my contract. Like my contract was going to be up at the beginning of next year. I was leaving anyway, but I'm like, what's on the other side, right? Because I've only been in this WWE bubble now for almost 6 years. So did you see the clip of Hero wrestling the Japanese girl WrestleMania weekend? It was unplanned. It wasn't advertised, but like it was awesome. It's just like a 5-minute exhibition match. but the crowd is like, you can just feel it watching it through the screen. And I remember being home WrestleMania weekend and just kind of being like bummed and kind of being like, this sucks. Like, what do I want to be doing? And then I saw this clip and I was like, that's what I want to be doing. Like, I want to be doing that. I want to be in front of these crowds where I can just kind of wrestle the way I want to and do my wrestling the way that I think it's supposed to be. And not really have anybody tell me, oh, don't do that. Oh, don't go fire up. Oh, don't go do this. And I remember thinking, like, when my contract's up, I'm going to go do this.
It's almost like you can do what you want. You can get rewarded for it as well.
Like the hard work that I put in, now it's just, I get rewarded for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not for someone else. And this was WrestleMania weekend. So this was, the firings of the week after. So I'm watching this and I'll go, I got to go do this. I got to go figure this out. Like, I can't do this anymore. I can't be home WrestleMania weekend when this is supposed to be the Mecca weekend. And I'm sitting at home. I'm a pro wrestler. This isn't what I dreamed of doing. I didn't want to just collect a paycheck and sit on the sidelines. And I legit watched this match a couple times. I was like, okay, I'm doing this. This is what I'm going to be doing. Well, my birthday was on Wednesday. And then I got the call on Friday.
Yep.
And then I graduated on Saturday.
Yeah, you did. WWE offer courses, or is it just funding for...
No. So it's tuition reimbursement.
Okay. So you do it, they reimburse.
Yeah. So,
okay.
And again, I always was under the impression, like, I'm going to make WWE work for me.
Yeah.
So while I'm here, I'm going to take advantage of any kind of perks that they may offer, and the tuition reimbursement was one of them. So I went to school, got my degree.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
At the end of the day, it's very easy to feel like we came up short.
Yeah.
It's very easy for me to go, should have taken that coaching role. And definitely shouldn't have. Right? We accomplished some very fun things. We went on a ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't the biggest, highest ride, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Something that I enjoy speaking with people about is finances.
Sure.
And from the moment I was out the door, my understanding is that you didn't travel at all.
Two out-of-state loops.
2 out-of-state loops?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, other than that, you're sitting at home.
Making money.
Collecting paychecks.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking to myself, damn, this motherfucker is just collecting money. I was jealous.
Don't be jealous. It's okay.
But like the amount that you made while, post, after I was gone.
Yeah.
It's very easy to look at it and go, I didn't get this or I didn't get this. It's also like, I'm very grateful that I got to do this, career-wise. I was able to get the education through them. I was able to sit at home and save a crap load of money. Like,
by not traveling.
Yeah, it's far from a worst-case scenario.
Yeah.
How do you feel with WWE being in the rearview mirror? Are you grateful? Are you...
Okay, that's a tough question. That's like a loaded question, so I'll try to break it down the best I can. But and again, so lucky being post-pandemic when I got signed and being 30 years old. So one, I learned how to live as an independent professional wrestler for 14 years, making peanuts.
Yeah.
But those taught me valuable lessons of how to live below my means, even when I'm on the road. So I had all this experience. I'm not one of the young athletes who, fresh out of college, and it's like, spend it now because I'll make more later. I knew how to live below my means. I also knew that WWE wasn't going to be forever. So from the moment I signed, I knew like, okay, this isn't forever. I don't know how long it's going to last. It might be 5 months. It might be 5 years. It might be 50 years. I don't know. But I do know that I'm going to be prepared for it when I leave.
Yeah.
So I prepared for life post WWE the day I signed my contract.
I like that.
Because, but some people don't have that mentality because they don't know. They haven't been grinding on the indies. They don't know what the other side is like. Also, that was, pretty much AEW was in its infancy when I got signed to WWE.
COVID era, they were just coming up, right?
Yeah.
2019, 2020?
2019, yeah. Now it's complete. It's just it's since I signed with WWE and now since I'm out of WWE, the wrestling landscape has changed so much. But I didn't know that it would be like that. So I was like, from the moment I signed my contract, I'm going to be prepared for when I leave. And that's why I had pretty much made up my mind I was going to leave at my contract anyway, because I was prepared for it. You can't make a decision like that to go, okay, I'm going to leave my my job where I'm not even traveling that much, but I'm getting a steady guaranteed paycheck. You can't make that decision if you haven't planned for that.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, they let me go 7 months early, but I was going to leave anyway. So would I have liked to have that extra 6 months pay? Yeah, probably, but I really just wanted to wrestle. And that's not what I was doing in WWE, especially this year. I was mostly ringside with Kelly and Uriah, and they had switched me to where I was coaching. Like I was assistant coach for some of the classes.
Okay.
And it just seemed like they were trying to, again, they've been trying to make me a coach since I signed. But it felt like now they were really trying to like push me that way. And I don't have any information, but it felt like when my contract was up, they weren't going to offer me another wrestling contract. They were going to offer me a coaching contract, which I didn't really want at 31. And at 37, I'm still not sure that I want.
Okay.
So I want to go wrestle. Like, I guess that's the biggest thing is like, I just want to go wrestle. I want to, what I saw Chris Hero do, and that feeling of just like, it came through the phone. Like it really did, just touch me. So I want to go wrestle.
It's been a while since you've created a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. I'm a wrestler.
You're a storyteller.
And I can't wrestle forever.
Yeah.
So again, I just, to get back to your question, I planned for life post WWE from the day I signed my contract so that I could make a difficult decision like leaving if I wanted to, or if I ever was to get released, I'd be okay.
Okay. Last question. 5-year plan.
Oh man, I'm 37. Again, I just graduated college, which is weird at 37. You know what I mean? That's a strange thing. All the opportunities that I've had to pass up since I've been with WWE, I want to take advantage of. I want to get back to wrestling people that are better than me. I want to get better. I want to learn because I've just been in such a position where I've had to like teach.
You're not wrong. Yeah, yeah.
And that was one of the things I always butted heads with management. I was like, at some point I need to like learn to, I need to get better. And I can get better to make everybody else better. But they were like, no, you're good enough. Like just.
For what we need.
There was nothing flowing back into me.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, yeah, I just want to go wrestle people that I've never had the chance to wrestle or haven't wrestled in 5 years or 10 years and see where we're at now and create new moments, new memories. I hope to be either done or winding down in 5 years with my in-ring career. So I just want to hit it full speed and like be done with it. And I think I'll know when I'm done. So I'm going to say my 5-year plan will be just like hit it hard, travel, get back to, my favorite part of wrestling was being on the road, traveling to different countries, living in different countries. So get back to Japan, get back to England, get back to all of Europe, Canada, Mexico, wherever will have me. And yeah, just be a wrestler again.
Okay.
That's my 5-year plan, be a wrestler again.
All right, one more question.
Sure.
Can I come too?
Of course.
Okay.
Why not?